Hello there and welcome to the Shamans guest house. This is your invitation if you're interested in coming to stay with a shaman in Glastonbury in the Isle of Avalon, then my doors are open. So I've been doing this for years actually, pretty much since I moved in, and some people come and stay just for a day or two, and what they want to do is have a taste of what the Isle of Avalon is like, what's going on here, what you can do, what the energy is like. So if that appeals to you, then that's my opportunity I'm providing for you. If you've actually got an awareness that you are in your awakening times and there's issues you need to deal with, then you can most certainly come and stay a little bit longer and put yourself in for a retreat, which will be a personalised one-to-one retreat with you and myself. And we might well find ourselves working with the indigenous plant medicines. That's perfectly a possibility. We might be working with silence, meditation, going out into nature, and many other techniques that I have. And I do want to introduce, really properly for the first time, that when I left India from my last visit in March this year, my very good friend Ahmed gave me a huge book, which is the 112 techniques of Shiva. So I've been working, studying and practicing with these since March, and this is what's bringing about so many extraordinary transformations in my life, things I've waited to be able to do for years. They're all just happening quite naturally and automatically now. So if you're interested in exploring the 112 techniques of Shiva, then that's certainly something that I can offer you. And I call them the 120 awakening techniques, because that's actually what they're designed to do. They're designed to catalyze our awakening process in these our awakening times. With a talk behind me, it reminds me to say to you that any guest who comes to stay in the shaman's guest house gets an opportunity to come up with me, maybe like now, to catch the sunrise, or maybe the sunset, or maybe some other time. That'll be all something we can arrange together. What I felt I would do specifically in this film is just to give you an idea. Supposing you've been staying with me for the last few days, what kind of events might I have been taking you on? I do want to make this clear. Glastonbury, the town itself, and the Isle of Avalon in general, is an area of unsurpassed creativity, particularly in the creative arts. So many creative arts experiences to be enjoyed here. Everything from the art galleries which we have in the town centre itself, through to the opportunity to work with dance, singing and so much more. So here you are, just a brief rundown of what I've been enjoying the last few days. Saturday afternoon I was, as always, in Pendragon House on the dance floor in Dance Church, and I was being treated to the utterly extraordinary rhythms of DJ Ether. We have a really great stable of DJs, quite a variety of styles, genres and approaches to the decks, and his particular style, you have to be there to understand it. I can't really describe it to you in much detail. If the words come to me a little bit later, I'll add them in a comment. So 2 hours from 1 till 3. The doors open at 1 and they close at 3, and people are invited to arrive at any time between those times and to explore and to surrender to the rhythms and discover what happens when we move our bodies and we connect the left and the right hemispheres of our brain. This is what dance does to us. That rainbow bridge, the corpus callosum, suddenly connects us, and we are fully in tune and in the now. So that was Saturday afternoon. Sunday is, relatively speaking, around here, it was this particular Sunday, a day of rest. There weren't any events that were calling me to go out, so I went to my favourite woodland, which is in the part of the Glastonbury zodiac called Aries, first the signs of zodiac, a beautiful discreet woodland which I go to, which has the great advantage of having very few humans there. So I very much enjoy an opportunity for some solitude, time on my own. That's a possibility, a place where you can be taken to. And then on the Monday was actually two experiences. On Monday afternoon I went and joined my good friend Waxara in a drumming circle it what's called the Avalon Centre. You'll find this name Avalon cropping up all the time because it is the spiritual name of the area, has great significance to people around in this part of the world. So that was a drumming circle, and it's something I'd never done before since I moved here, and I thought, yes, this is also something I'm going to take on as a regular thing. It was very inspiring, and it's actually, in this case, because of a particularly special thing has happened to do with one of the people there, it turned into a cacao ceremony. Cacao ceremonies are incredibly popular in this part of the world, in Avalon in general, and there's no doubt about it, the spirit of the cacao is a powerful connection to the heart, which is lovely. Just as the tour is behind me, of course, this is the heart centre of the world, the heart chakra of the planet Earth. So then on Monday evening it was time for the singing circle. Now what I'm discovering is with events that I go to for quite a period of time, I can really notice the trajectory of growth and evolution and development, and the singing circle is becoming absolutely extraordinary. We get into such amazing places, and in as much as I spoke about the dance connecting the left and the right hemispheres of the brain together, this is what the singing does as well. And we explore everything from songs we are barely used to, we might have only heard once or twice that someone brings in with great enthusiasm, down to the absolute favourites like Blessed We Are, which is one that we tend to do as our penultimate. We have a very special ceremony for the end, which I won't tell you about. If you come, you'll find out for yourself what it's like. Such a delightful, delicious energy. When the weather's suitable, we're outside singing in the garden of Pendragon House, and when the weather is not so suitable, we are in the beautiful, spacious room, which is where we do our dance on the Saturday. So that was Monday. Then Tuesday was my opportunity to go to the Goddess House, to which I'd been invited by my good friend Jeannie, who has trained with me to be a shamanic practitioner, and she spent in total probably a year or so in Egypt, and she's running tours to Egypt, but spiritual tours, the kind of tour if you want to go to Egypt and learn pretty much as you possibly can about all the ancient lore and the beautiful spaces, temples, pyramids of Egypt. She's the person to go with, and she was taking us on a experience of the particularly netters, which is like the gods or goddesses, but they're not really called that in Egyptian spirituality, they're called netters. And so the previous week we've gone into Osiris and Isis that many people know of, but this time, just 2 nights ago, it was Netis, Set and Anubis, and these are 3 of the deities that have dominion over different aspects of the underworld, and indeed Netis is very much to do with soul retrieval, so I saw the link between shamanic practice and Egyptian spirituality. Perhaps for the first time that was a real eye-opener. Set is all to do with the experience of chaos and realizing it's part of our human experience and existence, and the third, Anubis, is very much to do with protection and a whole load of other things too. And what I've noticed that she does, as well as giving us all this information, we then have a period of time where we do meditative practices, all based upon the Egyptian spirituality, and an initiation practice. And the initiation practice that we went through on the Tuesday evening was very powerful indeed. So grateful to be there. Thank you very much, Jeannie, for that. So that brings us through to yesterday, Wednesday. So Wednesday was the opportunity to go to one of the really interesting places in Isle of Avalon in Glastonbury town, and it's called Sambagaya. And what they do is they turn the space which I'm used to dancing in, it's a lovely dance space for a small group of people, and they turn it into a Hindu temple. And there's a significant group of people whose names I don't remember, but what they are is they are a Hindu spiritual group, and they create a temple wherever they go. In fact, they used to create one on Glastonbury tour for quite a long time, especially in 2020 and 2021 when people were all locked up in their homes. We used to come out here on Sunday afternoons and we used to sing in freedom up here on the tour. They've got all these traditional Indian musical instruments, and they know these mantras, and they own the mantras. They really are such incredible people when it comes to the mantras. And we did quite a number of mantras to do with Shiva, and there's a mantra for Krishna, of course, a mantra for other Hindu spiritual deities, gods, goddesses. And they have the most beautiful layout on the floor for all the spiritual beings, very, very beautiful, very colourful. And the place was rammed, loads of us singing. And what you find is when a lot of people get together and sing, and they are singing something like Sanskrit mantras. Jeannie's also taken us through Egyptian mantras on the Tuesday evenings. Well, you have to experience them for yourself to understand why there is this enthusiasm people have for these things. That's all I can say to you. So that's just a roundup of a few things that's been going on in recent days. And just to give you an idea, that if you fancy coming to Glastonbury and you'd like to have a guide, I can be your guide. I can take you to these events. We can drive there if necessary. We can have our experiences, and I can devote my time to you in different ways, such as if you want to go down the shamanic route, I can effectively provide you an introduction to shamanic practice. If you're more into astrology, we can go into the deep astrological aspects of your birth chart. And if you're more into divination, I can give you an experience of a whole series of divination practices, which includes obviously the tarot and other shamanic divination practices too. And if what floats your boat more is to do with the meditation and the 112 techniques of Shiva for awakening, then I'm your man for all those too. And obviously you'll be having breakfast with me and coming back and having an evening meal with me. And if you wanted me to take you to the places where the shops, I could do that. If you want to go off exploring on your own, you can have your own key or get your own bedroom. We share a bathroom. So if any of this appeals to you, then do please get in touch. Have a check out of the description. Prices and services are explained there for you. And you'd be most welcome to come and stay with me and have an experience and discover some of the delights of the Isle of Avalon and Glastonbury and the tour. All the love to you. Look forward to welcoming you sometime soon.